say there is a creator, is that a philosophical truth or a real, like, universe, like physical truth?
You limit it to physical truth. If something is non-physical, metaphysical,
Yeah.
right? Supernatural, outside nature, by saying I want it to be natural, I want it to be physical, you're already having a methodology which is faulty to start with. If you don't want the conversation, they will not have a conversation on camera. Up to you. It's okay. So carry on, brothers, talking. Okay?
Yeah, but yeah, go on.
Good try.
I'll hear you out.
Okay. Razi.
So what is the proof, I guess? What is your reasoning? Or is it just based on faith? Which is valid, but, let's hear it.
Okay. So let's go through systematically with reasoning. Okay? Because sometimes we don't need to provide empirical proofs through experimentation and observation.
Okay.
Because when we use science to prove something, that very philosophical foundation is not based on science, it's based on philosophy.
Okay.
Like experimentation yields the truth is a philosophical statement, not a scientific statement.
Right.
We didn't do any science, any experiment to arrive at that statement, which is true.
Okay.
Do you follow me so far? So that means truth can exist independently of experimentation and observation.
Okay. I mean, the concept of truth, but that's like you said, a philosophical concept. It's not, and then, so here's my question to you, is if you say there is a creator, is that a philosophical truth or a real, like, universe, like physical truth?
You limit it to physical truth. If something is non-physical, metaphysical, right? Supernatural, outside nature, by saying I want it to be natural, I want it to be physical, you're already having a methodology which is faulty to start with. Okay. You can't limit and confine to something which is a faulty methodology. Yeah. Science, for example, cannot tell you that these two ladies are the most beautiful women in the world. Okay. You can't prove that by science.
Subjective.
How dare you?
Get in there.
I'm saying you can be, but not through science. Not science is not the right methodology to use, right? Okay. So we need to have our understanding of the limits of our methodological tools to use. So when it comes to the existence of creator, okay, we'll go by basic steps. So I'm saying there are other avenues of knowledge that can give us certainty, other than scientific experimentation.
Sure.
Good.
Which religion is the most true?
Islam is the only truth currently.
Why?
That's what we were discussing. So if you're going to listen, you'll learn as we go along. So watch and see. So if you and I exist, you would not deny the reality of your existence and my existence. Am I correct?
Okay, yeah.
Because if you're a hyper-skeptic, then my conversation will have a different tangent.
Sure, yeah. No, we exist.
Okay?
Here we are.
You and I exist.
Speaker's Corner.
Good.
2020.
Every existence that we observe, this existence is contingent. What I mean by that, it's something that is not of an independent existence. For example, I did not at one point not exist, and then I chose to exist and I brought myself into existence. That's not the reality. I did not bring myself into existence, meaning self-bringing and originating.
There was a time before you.
But me personally, I did not self-originate. Okay?
So jumping ahead to the creator thing.
No, we're not jump ahead. Okay. We're going to go systematically one by one, so we don't fall into the errors.
Too long though. I'm afraid.
If it was so easy to understand and grasp, which it is, you should have already accepted that God exists. But the fact that you haven't means we need to go through step by step, systematical approach. Fair?
Well, I mean, so I did like mathematics, and you have a mathematical
excellent,
proof, and you start
excellent.
From
I'm already liking you because
but here's the thing.
Speaking to someone who can understand the process.
If you have axioms, you have to have a system of axioms. You have to start somewhere, right? And based on those axioms, then you either get a contradiction, not a good system, or
what axioms have I used so far?
So I feel like, to me, an axiom would be there is a creator of the universe. That is, to me, axiomatic. I don't think
in
you
my
can
reasoning.
Get more.
Earlier on was my question to you, why don't you believe in a creator, which is obvious? This is an assertion with a question. Then I started giving my reasoning. Sure. In my reasoning, what axioms have I used?
I I'm not exactly sure.
I haven't.
Okay, yeah.
The only thing you can say I've used as an axiom is there can be truth outside of scientific
Right,
experimentation.
And you started with we exist, and there
Yeah.
was a time. Okay.
Right. So let's start developing axioms now. We are all contingent. Everything in the universe that you can see are dependent. They do not originate themselves.
Okay.
They're not self-originating.
Right.
Then we have this problem, philosophical problem and a scientific
How
problem.
does the universe exist then, right?
Wait. You keep on jumping.
Okay.
Our existence now needs grounding. What is our existence grounded on?
Observation.
Grounding means it needs to be sourced on something. For example, if I said the reason I exist is because of that fence. That fence originated me. That's not the grounding of my existence. Because the fence has nothing to do with me bringing into existence.
Right.
So
fence could exist
the grounder, something that is my existence going to be grounded on, is going to have the ability to bring me into existence.
Okay.
So what?
Okay. The two most beautiful women. Let it be known. Let it be known.
Right. So our existence needs to be grounded on. So what can our existence be grounded on? What? Something that exists or something that doesn't exist? So now we're going to go systematic elimination of the impossibles and the illogicals, and then go approach one step at a time. Can our existence, our origin, because we had a beginning of our existence, can it be grounded on something that exists or something that doesn't exist?
Must exist.
Must exist. Good. Very smart. Some people will be surprised. They choose the other
We're
alternative.
here to argue, right?
Yes. So if something that exists is going to ground our existence, what are the essential qualities that this grounder needs to explain our existence?
Well, it needs to exist. We established that.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I think it needs to be something you can observe or something. I'm not sure, I guess. It's to me
Essential.
getting philosophical.
Essential qualities, I'll give you 3 essential qualities.
Okay.
Yeah? One is self-awareness, and I will explain in turns why it needs to be so. The other one is possessing of a will, intention, or a volition. And the other one is possessing ability. For example, if none of those qualities existed within that grounding existence, let's call that A. Well, not A, let's call that X, as unknown in maths, not X. X needs to have self-awareness, will, and ability. Let me now demonstrate with an example in everyday life what I mean by that, then you'll appreciate.
And then I think I'm going to tap out.
No problem. Because that will be a good start for you to reflect on in terms of the methodology Muslims use to rationally, intellectually arrive in believing and knowing that the Creator exists. Okay? Okay, I'm not going to stop you from going, but if you have to go, you have to go. Okay. Suppose now I want to make dinner at home in my kitchen. I want to make rice and curry. Okay? For me to, I am Bangladeshi. For me to make rice and curry, now let's talk about these 3 essential characteristics. If I was not self-aware, suppose I was totally sedated, I'm not sure I'm existing or not. Or I was dead. I was dead, for example. Would I be able to make rice and curry? Of course not. So being self-aware is a condition which to begin with. Next, suppose I was self-aware, but I didn't have any intention to make rice and curry. So I'm in the kitchen there. I'm writing poetry. I'm solving the mathematical equations. I'm solving everything else, other than thinking about, willing about. Other than willing about intending to make rice and curry. Would I ever be able to make rice and curry?
You might do it by mistake.
I'm not even intending it. So it's not going to follow. So I need the intention. Without the intention, it will never happen, right? Because I might be imagine I'm intending only to write poetry. I'll be writing poetry until I fall dead, right? Right. Now suppose I was self-aware. Suppose I had the intention, but I was incapable. I didn't have the ability. Meaning what? My brother tied me in the chair like this, blindfolded, eyes, nose, mouth, everything. Just about able to breathe, and totally something that I cannot even make a command or a gesture to my robot to make rice and curry. Would I be able to make it?
Well, it's like you're dead at that point.
Exactly, it's like being dead. I won't be able to. So even to make... Okay.
All right.
I won't be able to, you see, even with these three essential qualities, if I didn't possess them, I won't be able to make a simple rice and curry. If that existence called X, which is the originator of everything, ultimately the grounding source of everything, didn't possess self-awareness, we would not be able to make any transformation. Didn't possess a will, we would not be able to transform the universe as it is from our original state. Didn't have the ability, we won't be able to do that. So the X must possess these essential qualities, and these are qualities of a personal being, as you know, like God or a creator. But because we don't have a time, develop your thoughts, think about it, and then perhaps another time ever if we meet, we can talk. Take care, Ozzy. Okay? Take care.